Do it
Do
on
one?
yours.
Okay. All right, guys. Now we're getting to the cooking. Go ahead.
Welcome. Okay, so if you're tuning in, great. We're so excited that you're here. As some of you may know, I'm Annie. I'm a professionally trained chef and the creator of the blog What Annie's Eating, where I share easy and delicious recipes for the home cook. And I'm so excited to be here with Kara today because we each have a pretty different skill set, but I think together we can provide you guys a lot of really useful information as you navigate your holiday menus. So, do you want to introduce yourself?
Totally. What's up, guys? You know me.
I do.
Yay. So we're also filming on Facebook Live, so if we're looking at two different cameras, like,
That's
just
why.
know. Also, this is far from us, we can't see, so like if we walk over to read your comments, yeah, you know what's up.
Okay.
So tell them what you're cooking today.
Okay, so today we're each going to be showing you how to do an easy and healthy Thanksgiving side dish. So mine is going to be this big power green salad that I top with a homemade vinaigrette, and I'll tell you everything you need to know about making salad dressing at home.
Yep.
Some roasted delicata squash, which I sliced this one in half and realized I shouldn't have done that yet, but it looks like this, and when you slice it in half lengthwise, it looks like this. So I'll show you how to prep it. So we're going to do green salad with roasted squash, some pomegranate seeds, and some toasted hazelnuts to throw it all together.
Yum.
What are you making?
Did you say homemade vinaigrette?
I did.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're going to go over everything you need to know.
Yay. I'm gonna make a cauliflower mash with crispy Brussels sprouts on top. So you're gonna have this like textural, crunchy, creamy mouth flavor bomb thing happening. It's gonna be awesome.
Those are all great things.
And while we're going through the cooking process, Annie is gonna be sharing with you cooking techniques.
Yes.
Tips and tricks to like make you an instantly better home cook.
Exactly.
Right.
You'll be a pro.
To be a pro, and I'm going to talk about nutritional information, and hopefully we'll tell some funny jokes.
Yeah.
While we're here.
We're pretty fun. So.
Yeah. And then if you guys have questions as we're going, send them in.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna try to just like post on mine, but
Yeah.
make sure to tune into yours.
Perfect.
But maybe you can tell us what you're doing right
Totally.
now. Chef Kara.
Yay. So, cauliflower. This is a large head of cauliflower, and I chopped it up in super tiny pieces. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to saute the cauliflower. So when you make cauliflower mash, most recipes will tell you to steam it. We are going to like kitchen experiment with you here live, and we're going to saute it, and then deglaze the pan and really add some fun depth of flavor.
Yeah.
And this is a great alternative to mashed potatoes. It's like a fifth of the carbohydrates, so you're not getting all of the starch. So you can focus on dessert more.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
totally. It's higher in all kinds of vitamins and minerals, and yeah, it's just delicious. It's a great substitute.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna heat up my pan. Sorry.
Oh no, just so excited.
I'm gonna heat up my pan with some oil and then drop these in.
Okay, cool. So as Kara just mentioned, we're gonna do a little cooking experiment. We're going to saute first. So you can, if you have a steamer basket, you could steam the cauliflower, but we thought it would be fun to saute it because when you put something in direct contact with a pan, it's gonna sear a little bit, which is not only gonna develop texture depending on the dish that you're making, but it's also gonna add great flavor. And in classic French cooking, we talked about this all the time in culinary school, that those little brown bits on the bottom of a pan are called fond, which means foundation. And so I think it makes sense because it's a great foundation to building flavor in your dish. So that's what we're gonna experiment with today. So Kara is heating up a cast iron pan with a little bit of coconut oil. We're going to saute off the cauliflower. And
Coconut oil.
can you tell she likes coconut oil? So the basic idea to do a cauliflower mash is to just cook it in whatever your preferred cooking method is until it's fork tender. So you can just pierce it with a fork and then blend it. You could blend it with butter, you could blend it with ghee, olive oil, coconut oil. You could throw in some spices. Choose your own adventure. So we'll see how it goes. You guys will be learning with us. So as she gets that going, I'll show you guys phase one of my side dish. So the first thing we're gonna do is just prep this delicata squash to be roasted, and with the magic of Instagram Live or TV, I'm actually already roasting some just so it doesn't take a long time. So I'll show you guys what it looks like, but I do want to show you how to prep it.
Yes.
So if you've never seen a delicata squash, it looks like this. So I just halved it lengthwise, and I'm gonna scoop out the seeds. And if you've ever cooked with any type of gourd or squash, some of them are kind of awkwardly shaped and difficult to cut. I love delicata squash because is just kind of like slice it down the middle, scoop it out, and the skin is edible, so that makes life easy.
Yeah.
And there are probably like additional nutrients in the skin. I feel like with a lot of produce items, a lot of the nutrients live in the skin, but that's probably your love language.
Yeah.
You know more about that.
Totally. And just so y'all aware, I have shredded Brussels sprouts right here, kitchen shortcut. So
Yes.
on Thanksgiving Day, you have like a crap ton to prepare. So if you can find a shortcut, I got these at Trader Joe's. I'm massaging in some coconut oil on them. I'm gonna put garlic powder and salt and plop them in the oven until they get super crispy and brown. And then they go right on top of the cauliflower, and it's like magic.
Kind of a game changer.
Kind of a game changer, yeah.
So I think Brussels sprouts are in the cruciferous vegetable family, and I think like kale is in there, broccoli,
Yep. Yeah.
probably other things. But if you aren't a fan of either or like any of those items, roast them and then get back to us because
You'll like them that way.
you will like them so much more. So
Yeah.
Okay, so Kara is prepping those, and I will just show you how to chop this. I just chop them in like half-inch little half moons almost. So we're just gonna go
Yeah.
with this.
And then, guys, let us know where you're watching from.
Oh,
And if you
yeah.
have questions, send them in. I'm going to pop over there and read what's going on in the comments. So, yes, let us know where you're from and how your Wednesday is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, ours has been off to a really good
Yeah.
start. We've had a very good day.
We've had an epic morning. We hopped over to a We Quilt
Mm-hmm.
co-working event space this morning and met some really rad LA ladies.
Mm-hmm.
And we've just been like kicking it all day,
Yeah.
getting ready for this.
Really sunny and nice outside, so if it can't feel like fall outside, we are going to make it feel like fall inside. Yeah. So we're working on it. Okay, so I've been chopping the squash, and the little half moons kind of look like this. And when you're gonna roast anything, ideally you can cut them to be like somewhat evenly sized. They don't need to be perfect, but the more even in size they are, the more evenly they're going to cook, which is just gonna make your Thanksgiving day a little bit easier.
Yeah, we don't want uneven cooking.
So, are you gonna?
Just check. What's up, guys?
Are we good? Where's everyone tuning in from?
Yeah, let's see.
It looks like we have some friends that have joined.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so I dropped the cauliflower in the super hot pan with coconut oil. I'm using a cast iron, and then I put a lid on it, and the lid's gonna keep the heat in the paint.
It sure is.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have to see how long it takes. We're just gonna keep checking on it. And
Yep.
when we can cook it with the fork, it'll be all done.
Yeah, fork tender is what we're looking for on the cauliflower.
Exactly. Okay, so I prepped the delicata squash, and as I mentioned before, I've actually already put a full sheet tray full of the prepped squash in the oven to roast. But we have the oven at 450 because we're also going to roast the Brussels sprouts. I usually put my oven at 425 to 450 if I'm going to roast vegetables. And while I have you here, I thought I would take the opportunity to tell you everything you need to know about roasting vegetables. Kara, do you roast vegetables very often?
Every day.
Okay, every day. So I don't know about you guys, but I think a lot of people have this experience with vegetables where it's like they had them steamed or microwaved as a kid and they're very scared of them, or they think that they don't like them. And I hear you, I understand, but roasting them is a game changer. If you can perfectly roast your vegetables, which I know you can at home, they'll get really crispy and caramelized on the outside and be super flavorful and really juicy on the inside. So in order to perfectly roast a vegetable, I think kind of the main rule is when you place it on a sheet tray, let's just pretend this is the sheet tray, this cutting board, you want to have a lot of space in between each piece of your chopped up veggies, because if you have a bunch of vegetables that are really, really close together, when they're in the oven, if they're super close, they're actually going to create little pockets of steam, which is going to end up steaming your vegetables essentially, and then you're going to get like really mushy, soft vegetables. So like if they were like stacked up on top of each other or right next to each other, those are going to steam, and that's not what we want. So instead, on your sheet tray with a little bit of olive oil, salt, and pepper, you want to space them out like this, which is going to lead to a much crispier, more delicious vegetable. So when you roast them, you can toss them with kind of whatever oil or fat you want. I usually just reach for olive oil and toss it in like 2 tablespoons of olive oil or just enough to coat. But you could use ghee, you could use coconut oil, avocado oil. I don't know a whole lot about smoke points of different oils, but if that's important to you, you can have that inform which fat or oil you use. But the fat in the oil you use or the butter is actually going to help not only with the flavor, but it'll help get it nice and crispy. So,
I can speak to the smoke points. Yeah,
okay, let's
totally.
This is why we're doing this together.
Yeah, so we can speak to the smoke points of oil.
Exactly. Just your
So-
casual Wednesday smoke point conversation.
Yeah, smoke point. Yeah. Certain oils like processed vegetable oils, coconut oil. Not coconut oil, but safflower oil, canola oil, and even olive oil have really low smoking points, which means that the temperature in which the molecules start to break apart, and then they become free radicals and can cause damage in the body when we ingest them. So we want to use an oil that has a higher cooking point. So avocado oil is great for this, and so is coconut oil. I would have to check on butter. I don't actually know for sure because I don't eat a lot of dairy, which is why I don't know that. But butter, grass-fed butter might be another one with a high smoke point, but fact check me on that one.
I know a little bit about butter.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just taking out, this is what the squash looks like halfway. They've been in the oven for about 10 minutes, and I'm just gonna flip them. You can toss them if you have like wooden spoons, you can just toss them around. Not with your oven mitts, but with a wooden spoon, just so everything gets really crispy. But this is where I like to get like a little bit of a control freak. Sometimes I like to grab a pair of tongs and individually flip everything. So as you can see, look at how beautiful and caramelized. Hello.
Yeah, look at that.
That's getting, and that's only after like 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's epic.
I'm gonna flip everything. But so Kara was mentioning butter, and again, like I am not an expert at this, but I do know that clarified butter or ghee, you can make it yourself. You can buy it. It has the milk solids removed from the butter, which makes for a higher smoke point. So if you want to use clarified butter or ghee, it's similar to butter in flavor, maybe even like a little bit more intense, but a higher smoke point. So maybe something for you guys to Google and get back to us about.
Totally. Okay. And then someone had asked what fruits are good for acne. So just off the top of my head, what's really good for skin is like vitamin E or omega-3 fatty acids are good for your skin, but like kale, bell pepper, strawberries, and citrus fruits would be the first things that come to mind.
Okay.
But again, your acne could be caused by so many different things, and without me knowing more about like what you're eating and what your lifestyle is like, it's hard for me to say like what exactly is going to help your skin. So maybe send me a DM and we can sort of talk about it more in depth that way.
Great.
And then some of you guys had great tips about like how to brown the vegetables as well. So yeah, would love to know what else you guys try and what works for you.
Yeah.
So why is it so brown? Is it the foil? Or because these look amazing.
These do look
These
super
are
brown
really
and crispy.
Yeah.
I'm pretty hungry, so I'm excited to eat after this. I think it's a combination of things. Like I mentioned before, if you properly space out your vegetables, I'll grab the oven mitt so I can show you how much space is actually in between all these little squash pieces. I'll show the Facebook one too.
Totally.
They got a lot of space.
Yeah.
A lot of space. Okay, so that is a huge backyard in creating beautifully crispy roasted vegetables, and also just tossing them in fat is really helpful. I used olive oil, but as we mentioned, you can use any of the ones that we went over. And then foil versus parchment paper. Actually, I don't know if it makes a huge difference. I imagine that like foil versus parchment paper retains more heat, so maybe that context creates a crisper outside. Again, just throwing it out there. I have no idea. Use whatever you have. If you don't have foil, you don't have parchment paper, just make sure that you toss them in enough oil, and then you give your sheet pan a good scrub. Ooh, should be good to go. How are your little collies going?
Yeah. Okay. So they're good. I just deglazed the pan, so I put a little bit of vegetable broth in the bottom of the pan to get like the bits of the cauliflower that were sticking to it to like release, and then I'm gonna toss it in the food processor soon.
Easy.
Yeah, and again, like cauliflower is just a low starch, low carb alternative. It's going to be higher in vitamins and minerals and nutrients than white potatoes. And you know, if you're really trying to have like a balanced meal at Thanksgiving, if you have healthy cauliflower mash, then you can like have 1, 2, 3 pieces of dessert instead. You know?
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Is there room for me to pop this baby back
Yeah.
in?
Go. Oh yeah. Here. If I move this over, so if this goes, I don't want to touch that. But yeah, like put it vertical. Okay, cool. We're just making things fit in the oven.
Which I'm sure is an issue for people on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
There's so many things that are roasted. But Carrie, do you think that there's anything from your recipe that you could make ahead?
I feel like you can make the cauliflower mash ahead.
I think you could too.
Yeah, make the cauliflower mash the day before or in the morning, and then just right before serving, you want to crisp up the Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I think things that you can do in advance when you're entertaining, whether it's a holiday or you're having your friends over or someone you want to impress on a date night, whatever. Just like planning and prepping things ahead will make your life so much easier.
Did you see Clueless?
Yes.
When Alicia Silverstone burnt, she's like, whatever, all women need to bake, and then she totally burns it.
Yeah.
So.
And I think part of the reason she messed up was because she had never baked that before. So like my kind of cardinal rule when it comes to entertaining is like I really don't like to make recipes that I've never made anything like that before, because it's like always the kind of thing you look at the recipe and you're like, oh my god, I bought all the ingredients, people are coming over in 2 hours, and the fourth step says like let chill overnight.
Right, and then
So,
you're screwed.
That's no fun. Yeah, so I guess
I do that all the time.
yeah,
I'm so guilty of I'm having people over dinner, I'm gonna try this new recipe.
Yeah.
And I'm so guilty of that. Oh my gosh.
We've all been there. But I would say, like, as long as the recipe incorporates like cooking techniques that you feel comfortable with, if you've not tried that exact recipe and you're having people over, totally fine. Just read through it a couple of times, because that way you can avoid things like finding the stuff that's needed to chill something overnight. It's hot.
That's hot. That's super hot. Oh my god.
Is it getting a little bit tender, or is it not quite there yet?
It is done.
Really? Okay,
Done.
that was so fast. I don't know what time it is, but I was like,
Can you guys hear us okay?
yeah, can you let us know?
Yeah.
Do you want me to go
How's
there?
the volume? Can you hear the music too much?
Okay. I'm going to start.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I just scroll for
Yes,
a little?
we'll take a look. So I'm drinking my Rishi tea.
Mhm.
If you guys follow me on my stories, you know I drink this shit all the time.
Yeah.
It calms you down. So if I'm stressed or I need help relaxing, I drink Rishi tea. And being on Instagram Live and having coffee, gets my adrenaline up. So I'm drinking my tea.
Okay, cool. So far, nothing bad about the volume or anything. So I think we're good.
Okay, cool. All right. So yeah, let's move on to your salad. I'm almost done. So
Yeah, see? Entertaining. Made so easy.
it's so easy.
Okay, so do you guys ever make your salad dressings at home? Do you make them at home?
Yeah, I'm a sauce. Honestly, I believe it doesn't matter what you're eating. If you have a good sauce, it's probably gonna taste good. That might just be an opinion, but
No, it's a fact.
okay.
I can confirm it's a fact. So
Okay.
I have not bought salad dressing in a bottle for years. And I'm not necessarily against it. I just love making it at home, because once you realize how easy and how flavorful it is,
And healthier.
and healthier,
Yeah,
you're not gonna go back.
healthier.
So there's so many different combinations for salad dressing, which is why I think it's kind of a fun thing to experiment with. But the kind of classic ingredients are some type of oil and some type of acid, just to start with.
Totally.
And in
yeah,
culinary
basics.
school or in classic French cooking, and probably so many other sources, the classic ratio is 3 parts oil to 1 part acid.
Yep.
And you can, of course, bump up the acid, bump up the oil, depending on your preference. I actually really like kind of a more acidic dressing, so I usually do I start with 3 parts olive oil and 1 part balsamic or champagne vinegar, and then I add some type of citrus, fresh citrus juice. So what I've done here today is chopped up a shallot, which is going to add lots of flavor. It's not necessary, but I'll just show you what I'm doing and how I whisk it all together.
We need a whisk. Oh, you got one.
I brought
You brought one.
BYO whisk.
BIO whisk. Bring your own whisk.
Bring your own whisk. Okay,
cool.
so eventually I am going to add the olive oil and the vinegar that I mentioned to the salad, but just as some flavor boosters, I started with the shallots, and I'm going to zest a lemon and add the juice of this lemon to this bowl with the shallots. So I'm using a microplane zester right now, and if you don't have one, I would highly recommend getting one. It is one of my pet peeves in the kitchen is when there is a kitchen tool that does one thing, like an avocado cutter. It's don't buy that, because you're only going to be able to do one thing, and you could use a knife to do that. And so
Totally.
why I love this microplane zester is I can zest citrus fruit and use the zest for. Here's mine. Oh yeah. Oh, we have the same one.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's a good one. Yeah, we can maybe do a link to some of the products that we use in our blog post later when we post recipes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm zesting some lemon zest, but I use it to grate ginger into things.
Totally.
And when something calls for a garlic paste, just grab a clove of garlic and just grate it directly on here. To me, that you don't need a garlic press, because if you can just use this, it's a game changer.
And it infuses the recipe, I feel like, with more flavor when you micro-clean the garlic.
Totally.
Depending on what you're making. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, like if you're making a soup or something, you can just mince the garlic.
Yeah, you're gonna
and
blend
chop
it all anyway. It doesn't need
Yeah,
to
so it depends on what you're making, but a microplane can go a really long way with
totally agree.
for
Okay.
flavor, for sure.
I think I'm gonna take out the squash, but just so people can see what that lemon zest looks like. It's pretty nice. But I think I'm gonna take them out.
Hello. Hi, all you ladies. Hi there. Thanks for tuning in. If you guys want to let us know where you're watching from, that would be super awesome. So what part of the world you in? How's your day going? And if you have questions as we go, ask them. Yeah. I don't know why that was so hard to say. Oahu, New Jersey. What's up, Bree? How are you, lady? Yeah, we had someone from Italy earlier, which is really cool. I'm Italian. Are you Italian?
I'm part Italian, yeah. My grandfather's from Sicily.
Okay, we're both Sicilian.
What part?
I have no clue. I don't know. I don't know that much.
Well,
What are you making today? From Phoenix. Oh, Urban Beans. You guys have a great restaurant, by the way.
There you go.
There you go. Okay, so what are we making, love? You first.
Okay. I'm making a power green salad. When I say power greens, it's just like a mix of really good for you greens, like baby kale, arugula, spinach, baby chard.
Yum.
And then I'm topping it with a homemade dressing. So I'm showing you everything you need to know about homemade dressing 101 right now. And then I'm going to top it with roasted squash, some pomegranate seeds, and toasted hazelnuts. What are you making?
I'm making a roasted cauliflower mash, which is a great substitute for mashed potatoes, and I'm putting crispy Brussels sprouts on top. They're gonna get they're just crispy Brussels sprouts are like my version of French fries. But the whole theme of our little thing today was soul food.
Oh
so,
yeah, this is a great acronym if you're not familiar already.
Yay!
Which
When
I didn't know.
You didn't know?
Yeah.
I didn't know it either. I learned it in school actually. So souls is seasonal, organic, unprocessed, local. So we're making seasonal, unprocessed, organic, local recipes for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stoked, loving it. Gonna come read the comments over here.
Yeah, how are we doing? Are we okay?
Yeah, no, I think we're good. Actually, that's a great question. Your boyfriend's Sicilian. Awesome. We have lots in
Right.
common. His name is Michelangelo.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
Yeah.
Sounds very
Totally.
fun. We love that.
Love it. Wish we could stick around longer. Yeah, me too. But it's going to be around for 24 hours on my Instagram, and then it'll be on Facebook Live forever. So
Yeah, and we're also going to end up posting
Yeah.
the actual recipes on our blog.
our
so
blogs, yeah.
You guys can access them anytime, and you can make them in your own kitchens at home for Thanksgiving, which would be so fun.
Which would be so fun.
So
Okay.
fun.
We have 30 minutes, so we're good.
We're good. I think
We're good. We're almost done.
we made a lot of
I'm
progress.
almost done.
Yeah, I'm almost done as well. So one thing I meant to mention straight off the bat is that there's so many little like tips and tricks in your kitchen that can make your life easier when you're cooking. Like I went to culinary school and I love cooking because I'm making it my career. But if you want to be like a great home cook, you don't have to. Like you don't have to be a master chef to make an unforgettable meal and delicious and healthy meal for yourself or for your friends. So if I keep remembering like little tips and tricks as well, I'll point them out. But one thing that might seem really trivial that we totally bonded over earlier was having a trash bowl at your cooking station. I learned about this in culinary school and I was like, why have I never done this before?
Yeah.
But the idea is that you just keep a bowl like on your countertop, or you can even put like your trash can by your leg. And as you're chopping, anything you're gonna discard, compost, whatever, just put it in your trash bowl. That way, like you're eliminating mess around you, which I think makes for a more relaxing cooking experience and eliminates the cleanup after. So
you learned this in cooking school. She learned the trash bowl in cooking school. I learned it from Rachel Ray's 30-minute meals.
God, I love Rachel Ray.
So I used to always watch her when I was in high school. Can't wait to check out your recipes. Bye, Bree. Thanks for tuning in. See you. Yeah. Oh my gosh, so funny.
So fun.
Yeah, I think Rachel Ray might have maybe been the first cooking show I ever
She's awesome.
watched. So
I think I listened to a podcast where she got interviewed on maybe it was America's Test Kitchen or something, and they're asking her about her culinary training, and she was like,
none.
I went to the culinary school of my mom. And I was like, I feel like that's so relatable for so many people. Like, you learn so much just by being at home and watching people around you. So, yeah, don't be shy. Don't feel intimidated. Like,
No.
you get better with every time you try. So,
It's practice. It's an art.
practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're halfway done through our dressing, if not more. so far lemon juice, lemon zest, and chopped up shallots. And I'll show you what else I'm going to add to make it extra delicious.
Get down. Down with the get down.
Okay, I've got a little bit of Dijon mustard, which adds flavor, but it's also going to help emulsify your dressing. Oh, we have vinegar.
Come on in.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, it was nice.
Sarah, Annie, Sarah, guys, my roommate just popped in. Right over there. There you go.
They used to be our customers after this.
Yeah.
We're gonna need a taste tester for
I
our
haven't tasted all.
healthy and delicious meat.
Does it smell good in here?
It smells amazing.
Okay, good.
Yeah. What are you guys making?
Kale salad and roasted cauliflower mash.
How are your
Nice.
Brussels doing? Are they
They're good.
Okay.
Awesome.
Brussels aren't brown enough yet.
We'll get them there.
Like them crispy and brown.
Yeah, it'll add so much flavor and some good crunch.
Cool.
So, okay, so now I'm gonna add a little bit of Dijon mustard to this vinaigrette, and it adds flavor, which I love, but it also helps emulsify your dressing, which basically just means help two things that shouldn't normally combine and be stable together, combine, like oil and vinegar. And a lot of people will just like throw oil and vinegar and whatever ingredients they want in a mason jar and shake it up, and that works, but I do think that slowly drizzling in the olive oil or whatever oil you're using helps properly emulsify it. And it might not seem like a big deal, it does take a little bit more time, but once you toss your greens, I notice that when I properly emulsify it, it like sticks to the greens. And if you don't, a lot of the time it'll separate and end up at the bottom of your bowl, which like isn't a huge problem, but if you like want to practice your whisking or whatever, then
Or an arm workout.
or an arm workout,
Yeah.
then it's a perfect thing to
Right.
practice. So you could even like, you could put half the dressing in one bowl and half in the other, and do like half you whisked in the olive oil, half you just shook it up in a mason jar, and like just
I
make
didn't
for
know
yourself.
that though. I didn't know that mustard helped emulsify. So that's a great tip, guys.
Yeah, so do egg yolks. I don't add egg yolks to my salad dressings, but I know that some people do. So those help kind of like bind and stabilize your dressings. So we'll
Okay.
see how well I can do this.
And I'm going to show you guys how amazing this cauliflower looks from being roasted in the pan. So here's for Facebook Live. You can see all the brown bits.
Yum.
Yum.
It smells so good.
And then I'm going to come show you guys. So here is the cauliflower that I sauteed, pan fried. I don't know, just brown bits on vegetables is extra yummy.
It's never gonna be a bad thing. And they're still so healthy, which is like
Totally. I fried it in coconut oil, so you got all that good fat. You know, fat is so important for the body, for brain function, for your skin, for hormone production. So
yeah, somebody that has to have skin. So like, there you go. The 90s are over, and the fat-free diet
Right.
is gone forever. Now
Peace.
we're like, give us the rock. So I don't know if I mentioned this, but I added a little bit of champagne vinegar to this. I usually use balsamic, but I was like, you know what? Today I'm gonna switch it up. We're gonna get a little fancy.
and champagne is fancy.
It's fancy, right?
Yeah.
You can say like, oh, it's just a champagne vinaigrette. People will be like, okay.
Mm.
Okay, so I don't know that I'll do the best job, but I'm gonna just like slowly drizzle in
Yeah.
a little bit at a time.
Okay.
And I'm not measuring it, but I will, in the blog post, I'll post like my go-to measurements for a dressing.
Yeah.
But you could totally adapt it. Like I used olive oil and champagne vinaigrette, but you could do like unrefined walnut oil and some other type of acid. I like to do apple cider vinegar, is probably a good one. But again,
Super
we're the nutritionist here, she knows.
Well, flavor and health, right?
Yeah,
Both.
exactly.
Yeah, you got all that good enzymes going on when you get an unfiltered apple cider vinegar. So good for gut health and stuff.
If you get a filtered apple cider vinegar, is there a main difference in like its nutritional function?
Yeah, so it's just a filtered apple cider vinegar isn't going to be as healthy for you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's like if you're eating it for health, then you might as well go for the healthier option.
Totally. Yeah. So I see some new people popped in. Like, hit us up. Let us know where
Go
you're.
check in.
Yeah, let us know where you're watching from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see where people are tuning in
Yeah, let
from.
us know. And then in the meantime, I'm going to pop my cauliflower into the food processor. And what I'm going to use for a liquid is vegetable broth and water.
Perfect.
I'm going to be adding Earth Balance vegan butter. And then I'm going to salt it to taste. I also like garlic a lot, so I might actually use some garlic powder to taste as well. So I'm going to be doing that in the background, and Annie's going to keep talking about her vinaigrettes.
Yeah, so let's see. What are some other good pantry ingredients you could have on hand? Oh, you could use olive oil. You could use something unflavored like grapeseed oil, which is super neutral, and then you could use like a little sesame oil, which is really strong. Rice wine vinegar if you kind of want to do like an Asian spin. Throw in spices, herbs, whatever you want. Yeah, I'll post the recipe for what I think is like pretty foolproof, and then you can add whatever you want to add extra flavor on your own. Like I said, my personal preference is a kind of more acidic dressing, but choose your own adventure. I will say that besides the dressing I'm doing now, one that I really love is very similar, but instead of doing balsamic or champagne vinegar, I do apple cider vinegar and then orange zest and juice, and it works like a dream.
So we got a question. Thanks for sending it in, Nikki. What is your favorite fruit and vegetables? Love it. You first.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm like the lame person that can never pick a favorite, but I gotta say it depends on the season. I really love eating seasonally, so like in the summer, the things that I reach for are like ripe strawberries, and like fresh basil. But during the winter or the fall and winter, I love apples and pears and really any type of like roasted squash. I'm forgetting. What about you? I don't know. That doesn't like really answer your question, but what do you think?
Guess. Can anyone guess what my favorite fruit or vegetable is?
Do you like kale and sweet potatoes? Oh, avocado.
Avocado.
Okay, I probably agree with it, but
Avocados. I think it's a fruit because it is a seed, right? Avocado is technically a fruit. It's
Yeah.
like the fattiest, most delicious thing on the planet. So that would be my favorite fruit. Favorite vegetable is probably broccolini or cauliflower. Yeah, I definitely play favorites for sure.
yeah.
But like there are things in I can resonate with
Probably,
you.
you know?
I mean, I'm always in the mood for avocado.
Yeah, that's so true. And like living in California, we don't really have. I mean, we do
Seasons.
have
A little
avocado
bit.
season, but like
Yeah.
you can get avocado all year round. And like,
It's gonna be good.
it's gonna be good. Okay, so should we taste this and then maybe
Yeah,
just like
taste
toss?
that. I'm gonna blend this up, so it might be kind of loud for a second. Okay.
Very thick.
Yeah. And I would love to know what is your favorite fruit or vegetable.
Yeah.
Would
So
that
you guys-
help us recipe develop? Like, if we
Totally.
knew what your favorites were. So yeah.
And also, are there any that you're like terrified to cook with? You don't know what to make with them? Like, let us know. Maybe we can give you some advice and do another live.
Sorry, Lo.
Oh, you're
That's
good.
actually a good thing. Okay, so let's talk about intimidating fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
So I was so afraid to cook a beet. I had never cooked a beet for like years and years and years because I was so afraid. And then I finally like peeled and roasted my first beet, and I was like,
Congrats, bro.
I was like, I don't know what I was so afraid
You're
of.
missing out. Yeah.
You have something like that?
I remember when I was younger, like I loved eating watermelon over the summer, but I was always like, oh my god, how do you cut this super awkwardly shaped thing? And over time I realized that like anything that seems intimidating to cut or slice because of its shape, there's a way that you can make it have more stable edges to cut. So we were talking about butternut squash.
Yeah, butternut squash is a good
That-
one.
That is something I remember when I was like in high school and college. I was like, I don't really want to cook with that because how do you even do it? But once you can like cut off the sides, give it a stable edge, peel, it's a lot less daunting. So that definitely used to be something I was kind of scared of cooking with. Totally. I don't think if there's anything now.
What are you cooking? Yeah, great question. So I'm making a roasted cauliflower mash. I'm gonna put super crispy, yummy Brussels sprouts on top, and then Annie is making, lay it on us.
Okay, I'm making a big green salad with a bunch of mixed greens like baby kale, arugula, spinach, with roasted delicata squash, a homemade dressing, and some really crunchy and delicious toppings. So we've got pomegranate seeds and hazelnuts. Oh my god, those
Look at these brown,
amazing.
crispy Brussels. So they're gonna go on top of the cauliflower mash, and it's gonna just be like texturally so fun to eat. So you have like these crispy, crunchy, salty Brussels sprouts on top of creamy cauliflower.
Yeah, it's a very balanced dish, and I think for something like cauliflower mash, like really brings it together and makes it like look beautiful and feel like a really complete dish. Like you are not gonna feel like you're missing out by eating these healthy Thanksgiving sides.
No. Okay. Cool. So yeah, we're teaching you guys how to make healthy Thanksgiving sides. So the acronym that inspired this was Soul Food. So Soul is SOUL. It stands for seasonal, organic, unprocessed, and local. And that's really like our food philosophy and cooking philosophy, right? Like,
If you start with good
Yeah.
ingredients, like you don't have to do a whole lot to them to make them taste amazing. So, okay, I think that this is okay. I tasted it a lot, but it's on the more like tangy and acidic side, but I'm kind of okay with that.
yeah,
Like,
I'm with you.
brightens
I
up,
prefer acidic.
brightens up the dish, why not get it? So at this point, do you think we should like toss the greens in
Yep.
this and plate it up?
Do it.
And then maybe you can tell when you're not mixing about pomegranates and hazelnuts, like why they're good for me, because I love them. I love for them to be good for me.
They are good for you. Okay, we're gonna blend this up, so hold on. Cool.
How's it looking? Are you just eyeballing like how much liquid you're adding?
Oh yeah. Yeah. But I'll definitely do like recommendations on quantities, like when we post our recipes. But again, like every cauliflower is a different size.
Sure.
So it's good to just use recipes as kind of a guideline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just trust yourself that you're gonna make it delicious.
Yeah.
So, okay, I've got here a big bowl of our mixed greens, and I'm actually just gonna use my hands to toss everything, get it really coated. You could use tongs or wooden spoons or whatever you feel comfortable with, but I need a lot of dressing. I'm just gonna start by pouring a little bit of it out and tossing the greens. And I don't know that I'll use all of it yet. We'll see how coated they get.
Yeah, and like, so we're putting on pomegranate seeds and hazelnuts. And so pomegranate seeds are awesome. Like they're deep and rich in color, so they're high in antioxidants and phytochemicals.
I love them.
Yeah, and the type of, phytochemicals they have are polyphenols, and polyphenols have so many benefits for the body. And then hazelnuts are a great source of healthy fat and fiber. And like fat helps keep you more satiated. So when you have enough fat that you've consumed in a meal, you're gonna not only feel more full, but you'll crave carbohydrates less.
Yeah.
It's great for skin and brain function, and your body needs fat for hormone production and cellular regeneration. So don't be afraid of the fat. And plus, like, it adds amazing crunch, right?
Yeah.
So like, if you think about flavor profile here, you have like nutty, crunchy. What else would be the flavor of a nut? You'll know more than me.
Well, for this one, it's like it adds texture of the crunch, but like they're also
Texture.
kind of fatty and creamy once you bite into them. So it's like a little bit of everything.
Totally. Pomegranates are sweet and tart.
And
And
also
also
some more
freshness.
crunch. Yeah.
Crunch, freshness.
They also just look so beautiful
Really
on
beautiful.
anything, that,
Yep.
especially if you're serving something to friends or you're entertaining, then they're a showstopper. But yeah, you get some earthiness from the greens, and then if you don't like hazelnuts or you can't find them at the store, or like you already have a bunch of walnuts sitting in your pantry, no problem. Like swap it out with whatever works for you. If you have a nut allergy and you want to throw on seeds like pumpkin seeds or toasted quinoa or chickpeas, like you could do that. You can get flexible. Like it's not gonna taste bad. It's gonna be good.
No, not at all. Like all super amazing stuff. And then like I think you said in here you have like Swiss chard and kale.
Yeah.
And arugula, and like there's so much fiber in these healthy greens. There's vitamin K, vitamin C, vitamin E.
Okay, good.
Yeah, they're gonna have, the fiber feeds your gut bacteria, and your gut houses like your neurotransmitter production. It's important for digestion,
Do you have a favorite
immunity.
green?
A favorite green. Oh my
To
gosh.
choose?
Like health wise, or what I like to eat.
Okay, but
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah, health wise, probably like spinach or kale.
yeah.
Deep, dark, and leafy. And then
Mm-hmm.
if we're talking about ease of use, spinach, right?
Oh my
So you don't have to cook it, you can eat it raw. Like with
mild, you can sneak it into your smoothies and like never know it's
Everything.
there.
put it in your pasta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so ease of use, definitely spinach. Kale is really great in soups because it holds up really well. It's also good in pasta, but yeah. What about you?
I totally agree. I was just talking to somebody the other day about liking spinach for that exact reason.
No, just time to be aware of it.
Okay, thanks for doing time check.
Yeah.
Spinach is so great because it's so mild. It's like so easy to just eat a lot of it if you throw it in your smoothie. I love arugula.
The bitterness of it.
It's so good. And I actually like to use arugula like as an herb sometimes. So instead of chopping like pasta with chopped basil, I'll just like throw on some arugula and call
Well,
it a
bitter's
day.
a good bitter's an important taste.
Don't
too.
be
Like,
scared of the bitter.
yeah, bitter can be really good. So I'm gonna blend up our cauliflower mash a little bit more, so it's gonna be loud for a second, but
I'm gonna just chop up these hazelnuts that I actually bought pre-toasted, but you can toast them on your own if you want.
okay. Okay, and then so this isn't as creamy as I want. So would you add more butter or more?
Yeah. I would add a little like oil, something fatty to kind of bring it all together, and you could also add more liquid after that if you feel like it needs to be more cool.
So that's beneficial for all of you guys. So I blended up the cauliflower mash and it's not as creamy
So
as
good.
I want. So Annie is suggesting to add a little bit more fat in there. So I'm gonna do a little more vegan butter and then a little bit more of the vegetable broth. So great tip for you guys if you're gonna remake this recipe, you know what to look out for.
Yeah, and like I think in a traditional like mashed potatoes, you add like milk or cream, which you could totally add. But it's nice that you have other things you can reach for that have health benefits. So like, why not just get some more coconut oil or your vegan butter?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I'm just giving these hazelnuts a very rough chop. They do not need to be even.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna blend this up one more time and then we're gonna assemble our food and then we're done.
And then we get to eat.
Yeah, we can eat.
Which you guys could try it.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, put it right on top. Okay. So, do you think this needs to go in the Vitamix, or what do you think?
I don't think so.
I think it's good like that.
Yeah, I think you don't want to have to clean it everything, and
Cool.
you can. And what's great about this is like, if that texture works for you, then great. If you want to like make it a little thinner, you can thin it out with some water.
Water. Yeah. So I'm just gonna salt this to taste. It has a really incredible depth of flavor because we fried it in the cast iron. Like there's a lot going on. It has a lot of really nice complexity. And again, like it's not gonna have the carbohydrate load of potatoes, so you can have more dessert. And
You
it's
sound like you'd be like a really legit Top Chef judge.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, good. I've been practicing.
Yeah. No, you're
Yeah.
so
In
good.
case Instagram fails me, I'm gonna apply.
Yeah. Just do that.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna plate this up. I'm good to go. Here we
Okay,
go.
cool. I'm plating mine up too. So at this point, I've tossed all of the greens in that delicious vinaigrette. I've added some hazelnuts, and as you can see, some of those beautiful little half moon roasted squash on there, and I'm gonna top it with pomegranates. Sometimes I'll do like a couple of big chunks of Parmesan. In this case, if you don't, it's totally vegan, so like everyone at your Thanksgiving gathering could enjoy it. But you could put it on the side if you want some people to be able to add it on there.
I think everything we made was vegan and gluten-free today. So like
I think
everyone
so,
can
too.
eat it. And honestly, I don't think anyone would like tell or be able to think about it.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't even like try and develop this with that in mind. I just wanted to do something that tasted really good, that was healthy, and like has the added benefit of kind of working for any diet.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to hear that from your perspective, it checks all the boxes.
Checks all the boxes. And again, like you can make so much of this ahead. So ahead of time. So cauliflower mash you can make the day before. The vinaigrette you can make the day before. You would just definitely want to like crisp up the Brussels sprouts day of.
Yeah.
Roast.
They're so good warm.
They're so.
You could chop the squash before.
Totally.
And you could even like. Yeah, no, I wouldn't roast the squash the day before. If you do, you'll just have to reheat it anyway. In which case, since it doesn't take a ton of time.
No.
It looks like it's gonna be pretty.
All right, guys. So we're gonna like plate these up, show you them, and then you can look for the recipes. Both our blogs, yeah, and on Instagram. So.
And we would also love to see if you make them. So please reach out to us if you end up making it. Send us a picture. Let us know if you have cooking questions. Oh my god, that looks so
Yum.
beautiful.
You guys, crispy Brussels sprouts is where it's at.
Yeah, they're like up there with a French fry.
Yeah.
Great.
And they're a little healthier. Again, cruciferous vegetables, high in vitamin K, C, E, like all that yummy good stuff for you. So
They're good for you and they taste delish.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna garnish with chives.
Also love chives.
Yeah. Necessary.
Necessary.
Oh my gosh, you guys, I have to show you this. This looks amazing.
I feel like we should like cheers or something.
It's a great idea. Okay, so here's mine. Yay, right? So there's that yummy brown color because I pan fried them.
Look at those crispy Brussels sprouts. I know y'all wish you could try one. And then, hold on. We're on a tripod here.
Yeah.
So hold on.
We're making it work.
And then here, is that on your salad?
Yeah.
Okay. Yum. Cool. Okay, so look out for the recipes. And this was so fun. Annie, thanks for coming over and hanging out with me.
Thank you for having me, and thank you to everyone who's tuning in.
Wait, I want to try.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
We have a taste.
Yeah, get in there. This is my roommate, Sarah.
Hello, everybody.
Yay. Okay, so
What is that?
this is cauliflower mash with crispy Brussels sprouts and chives. Yeah, get in there. Into it.
I really like this.
Would you be excited if that was on your Thanksgiving menu?
Super excited.
Okay, awesome.
Yay.
And then this
Oh
is
my god, that looks so pretty.
a
Yeah.
bagel green salad with roasted squash, some pomegranates, and hazelnuts. So we need a knife to slice the
Yeah, let's
squash.
all get in there.
Okay.
Yeah, we all need to taste test it.
Yeah, this is really good. Highly recommend this.
Yay. Okay, good.
Okay,
All right.
that's the test. Thank you.
I want to eat that whole bowl.
I mean,
There's
even
gonna
if
be
you did
some-
though, like you just ate a whole head of cauliflower. Like that's never a bad thing.
You can eat a whole bowl of that and be okay.
Yeah.
I have a question though about these cauliflower paleo rice things. Are they super carby?
No. Okay, so I actually did some math on the carbohydrates of this, and
Yeah.
if you were to take mashed potatoes and do a half a cup of actual potatoes, you're looking at somewhere around like 50 carbs, and then you do cauliflower and it's like something around 14 carbs. So you have a fourth of the carbohydrates. Now, vegetables' predominant macronutrient is a carb, right? So
Okay.
that's their predominant macronutrient. So chicken is predominantly protein, so it's known as a protein. And then nuts are predominantly fat, so they're known as a fat. So yes, this is a carbohydrate, but it's a high fiber carbohydrate, so it's not going to affect your blood sugar and spike your blood sugar the same way a piece of white bread would. And it's so nutrient dense, and it feeds your gut bacteria. So
I feel like maybe I'm wrong. I would love to hear your perspective. Like
yeah,
a piece of white bread isn't like a naturally occurring thing, and it doesn't grow with other things to kind of like counteract what's happening in your body. Like if you have an apple, aren't there some parts of an apple that help like break down the sugars in your body? Like the fiber is supposed to be helpful. Like it comes full circle.
totally. Yeah, you're eating a whole food, and like nature's smart. Nature knows
Nature
wisdom.
is smart.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. So yes, it's a carb, but it's not the same as if you're sitting down and eating a bowl of rice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right?
All right. Well, thanks for taste testing and eating.
Thanks for cooking food that I get to eat.
Of course. Of course. Well, if you guys have questions, please feel free to like even after the live, just let us know.
Let us know.
We'll tune in. We'll let you know. Hope you enjoyed it though.
Yay, and we'll post the recipes for you guys. Bye.